Let's make this vlog a little more enjoyable and expand on the points. Number 1, +2, 2, 3, bye!
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. We are Chris and Shell, and we live on a narrowboat called Oddstruck Belle. If you're new here, welcome, and if you are a current subscriber, then welcome back. Lovely to see you again. Today we're going to talk about the best things about narrowboating. Narrowboating in the beautiful positive light.
I just want to quickly say it's in direct contrast to our most successful video to date, which was about the worst things about narrowboating, which I'll put a link to here. So maybe you want to go check that out before watching this one. If not, let's crack on.
Get a full rounded view.
Full rounded view. What life's like on a narrowboat. So first thing, Shell.
Countryside and nature. So we are completely surrounded by it. I'm very lucky to be, and we live very closely to the changing seasons, which is beautiful. So yeah, currently sort of spring, summer, so there's lots of little ducklings about, attacking and eating all the algae off the boat. Yeah, seeing everything in bloom.
Frog spawn, cygnets, there's great crested grebe that's nesting just over the way, Canadian geese. It's just teeming with life at this time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's magical at the minute. And the other day it looked like it was snowing, didn't it? Because all the pollen come off the trees.
I'm not sure what tree it is, but yeah.
And it's lovely as well when we're in the middle of a storm, because you're really in the thick of it, and you can hear the rain on the roof and feel the boat moving in the wind. That's lovely. Yeah, feels nice to be at one with nature.
I'd say it's our favourite thing about living on the boat.
Yeah.
Because we're both nature lovers, we both like being outside.
Outdoorsy.
So yeah, it's perfect for that.
You can take me high.
So pace. What do we mean by pace? We mean literally the pace of life.
Mellow yellow.
Is slow. Much slower. Physically, if you're moving on the boat, obviously you're chugging along, cranking it at 4 miles an hour, and going through locks, waiting for boats. The whole moving on the canal system is slow. You don't ever get on your boat and think, need to get there in a rush. So it forces you to slow down.
Race.
Yeah, it forces you to slow down.
Chill out.
Which is wonderful. I really, the times that we've been out on the boat, it's just been, you can just feel 21st century just drifting away behind you.
Yeah, lovely.
Which is awesome. Especially in this day and age, because I don't think anybody gets enough rest, apart from the current, what we've just been through. Going through. But yeah, so the pace of life is just slow, and it is wonderful.
Another thing in regards to pace, which is definitely noticeable and I'm more wary of now, is the way that I go about things in a day. I go about things mainly like a bull in a china shop, but I can't be in a rush all the time on a boat because I'm very mindful of the safety aspect of it. So coming on and off the boat especially, you have to take your time, because if you don't, you could really hurt yourself or other people. So yeah, I'm always a lot slower and more considerate when I do things, and do things in a much calmer manner, which is actually better for me instead of
Rushing
rushing
around.
around everywhere. So that's a positive. New skills. So one of the new skills that I had to learn very quickly when we bought the new boat was how to tie a knot so that our boat was secure. So yeah, Google the day we bought it.
As we were going along,
and
thinking,
I winged it.
Crikey, you
Yeah.
better not staff this
I
stuff.
got very good at it very quickly. So I didn't want our home to float away.
So that is exactly what we're talking about with regard to new skills. I don't think we'll ever know all there is to know about narrowboat life. I think it's a continual process of learning new things, adapting to new things, approaching things in a different way because they haven't worked in the past, and physical skills that you may not necessarily use in other life, but the fact it keeps you on your toes, keeps you engaged.
Hello.
It's I think that's an amazing part of living on the boat.
History. So one of my favourite things about living on a boat and when we go out cruising is sort of being a part of history and sort of feeling like I'm going back in time. And I love the fact, you have to work through the lock system and everything. That feels really old-fashioned, and I love that. So I like that.
Yeah, it's
Not
like
too oldie worldy times.
yeah, it's like living in a museum.
Yeah.
Although we've tried to modernise the boat and everything. But people stop and stare, and
Yeah, it's still very
it's
interesting to people that don't understand the world.
the narrowboating world.
Yeah.
Not just understand the
There's
world.
a few of them.
There's quite a few of them. The architecture. There's loads of things like the art of boats, like
Roses
traditional
and castles.
roses and castles sort of artwork is just amazing.
Yeah.
The
gorgeous.
sign writing, which I love. The architecture of the locks, how a lot of them are so different.
I'm quite partial to a pinstripe tiller pin. And tiller.
Oh, yeah. And in boat lift.
Yeah, stunning.
That's just amazing to be, because I remember that as a kid, not working and just being this carbuncle in the middle of the countryside, and now I own a narrowboat and I've been up and down on it in my home. That's just that blows my mind.
Yeah.
And when we were in Scotland for the marathon and we went to the Kelpies on the way back,
Yeah.
that's modern canal history, the Falkirk wheel, and I like the way it's evolving, but it's very rooted in the past.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So history has got to be a big part of your enjoyment of it. I think if you don't, you're missing quite a lot out of it. Footprint.
So what I absolutely love about living on a boat is our reduced footprint. I'd like to say we didn't have one at all, but that doesn't happen. So gas, electric, water is vastly reduced. Yeah, so we don't make as much of an impact on the world. So our gas, for example, in a house used to cost us about £600-700 a year, and it costs us about a tenth of that now. So it's a bargain. Brilliant. I think we've used a couple of gas bottles a year. Yeah. That's it. Water, we fill up once a week. Yeah, and we have quite quick showers, so yeah, we don't use a lot of water.
I think you're just more mindful in general about what you're using and what you've got to use.
Yeah, because part of your weekly chores of topping up your water and everything, yeah, you become a lot more aware of the resources that you use.
And the products that you're using.
Yeah.
And that's a big journey that we've been on, isn't it?
Yeah, going back into the water system and everything. So yeah, we're a lot more mindful about what we put back into the water. Yeah, when we're washing up and
cleaning and general.
Okay.
Next up, people. That's you guys.
So I love boating people. We've made some really, really good friends. Tend to find them a lot more down to earth, liberal. I've met loads of creative types. Yeah, absolutely lovely bunch. Very, very genuine. Like a good natter, but always feel supported, but genuinely supported. It's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask for help, and somebody will know somebody who'll know somebody who'll help you, without question.
Yeah, completely different outlook on life, I think, and just a lot more chilled and
then bricks and mortar type.
Yeah. Really nice bunch.
And I think it links back to pace as well.
Yeah.
People tend to have a lot more time to talk. It's very life affirming, the people you meet. So thank you all.
Beautiful bunch. Mwah. Freedom!
Thanks for that introduction, Shan. Just in case you didn't catch that, freedom. So what we mean by that is the fact that we can say, guys, sorry, we're going to leave in a month, unhitch, and off we go. We can't quite do that at the moment.
So we can pretty much go on holiday when we want. Yeah, every weekend if we wanted to. And I mean, last year we got married last May, nearly a year ago. Woo. But a week before we got married, we moved marina. So you wouldn't have done that moving house, would you? Been far too stressful. So yeah, if we lived in a house, we wouldn't have been moving a week before our wedding. But pretty easy in a boat. Just packed up and left. Chugged along.
Cranked it.
Cranked it. Minimalism.
So the very nature of moving into such a small space is that you cannot bring a lot of stuff, obviously. And that cathartic getting rid of stuff that you don't need out of your life is one of the real pulls for me. I think it helped me in my mental state as well, getting rid of all sort of stuff that just sort of weighs you down.
Less of a burden.
Yeah, the very free nature of getting rid of all that stuff that you didn't really need. I mean, we had a lot of stuff, didn't we? A lot of
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we were like 2-car boot sales, lots of tip trips, lots of giving stuff away, lots of selling things. It was a good few months project, just getting rid of stuff ready for the move. So, yeah, one of the big best things about living on a small space is being free of I'm not going to say free of clutter, because we're never free of clutter, but free of the burden of ownership of lots of stuff.
Yeah, I'd say if you don't live on a boat, it's even worth doing if you live in a house, because it does help you concentrate on the things that matter.
Yeah, I should have said that, sorry. Gives you that space mentally to concentrate on the things that you really want to. And that's exactly what we have since we moved on, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's done us both
We've
well
still
in
got
that respect.
improvements to make. But yeah,
Shell has still got improvements to make.
I still like my party frocks.
I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, minimalism, definitely a huge plus point.
Yeah, marvellous.
Quirky.
Yeah, I love this. One of my favourite things is our quirky space. Stick it to the man. It's not the norm. We do not conform to normality, and I love that. Yeah, it's one of my favourite things. It's lovely. It's something that I treasure and I'm proud of.
Yeah, I think quirky. It's the way of life is quirky in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, and the way it's decorated, like you can be a bit more
individual,
wacky.
Yeah, I mean you can buy a few things from IKEA and etc. and utilise those things, but on the whole, it's bespoke, it's unique, it's yours, you make it yours, and yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we really enjoy. I mean, we haven't gone traditional by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, it's still unique to us, and that's what we love about it.
CRT or Canal and River Trust?
Now, love them or loathe them. I know some people are quite negative about the Canal and River Trust, and there are aspects of the Canal and River Trust which infuriate me, but on the whole, with the funding that they have, I think they do a pretty good job. They do keep most of the system open in the crucial months, and the volunteers that help with the locks and stuff, we've had quite a fair few people help us.
Yeah,
and
some characters.
Yeah, going back to the people and Quirky, and yeah, they're so
and history.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the dude at when we went up with your mum and dad on Andon Boat Lift? He was just, your dad was amazed, wasn't he? Because all the history that he taught him in that like little 20-minute section. So yeah, the volunteers, the Canal and River Trust especially need a mention. And I think it's one of those things that if you're going to criticise, then get involved and try and make it different, change it. You know, it is a charity, so there are avenues for you to get involved. So yeah.
And whenever I've had any sort of billing queries or, you know, the admin side of things, they've been awesome. Very, very quick to respond.
And very helpful.
Fab. Yeah.
So yeah. So if you are going to live on a narrowboat in the UK, you are going to be dealing with a CRT. So yeah. They definitely are part of living on a narrowboat.
Yeah. Thanks for all their help when we first set up. They're fab.
So that's it. That is our little... We love living on a narrowboat. What are you doing? That isn't a heart, is it?
More like a bum.
You might do it like that, aren't you?
No.
Oh, well, mine's ace, look. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed this. If we haven't mentioned something that you love about narrowboating, then stick it in the comments. If you're new here, which we know quite a few of you watch and you don't subscribe, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications. Going forward for the rest of the year, we are going to try and upload something every Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes. And that's
Wonderful
it.
Wednesdays.
Wonderful Wednesday. Stick them in your calendar. Take good care of yourselves.
Stay safe.
And
See you next week.
we'll see you out on the cut. Bye.
Bye.